Are you looking to take your personal finances to the next level? Well, you're in the right place. Welcome to the Monday Money Tip Podcast, presented by I Was Broke, Now I'm Not, with your host, Joseph Sangle.
Well, welcome to episode number 59 of the Monday Money Tip Podcast. My name is Joseph Sangle. I am fired up to be able to join you on this Monday or whatever other day you choose to listen to the podcast. It might even be night, could be evening, could be eventide.
What is that?
Is that good? The what is that is the voice of my awesome co-host, Megan Hibbard. Are you fired up about this episode today?
Fired up.
Yes.
I think it's going to be a good one.
You said fired up. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. I don't know if I've ever heard you say fired up.
Really?
Yeah, for real. I don't know. I have to re-listen to some episodes of the podcast. That's great.
How have I worked here for almost 5 years and you've never heard that?
So it's rubbing off. That's great. So usually you just answer yes. Or
Well, because
nah.
you're asking a question
Okay. Are you fired up today?
and I say yes. It would be weird if I said, I guess maybe
No,
not.
but this time you said fired up.
Fired up.
You did. That was awesome. So tell everybody what we're going to talk about in this episode,
All right. Today,
this fired up episode.
yes, sponsored by Fired Up. All right. Our featured question for today is, I keep trying to prepare a budget, but for some reason I just can't get it right, so I give up. Do you have some tips that can help me become good at budgeting?
Yes.
So we're gonna
Yes.
share some budgeting tips.
Yes, I can help. Isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
I am fired up about that. Budgeting is, let me tell you right now, I just tell everybody as just a little forewarning. Budgeting is not my favorite because of budgeting itself. Budgeting is my favorite because it's what liberated my finances. And I believe it can do the same for every single person who does it. And so it allows you to fund dreams, do great things, and we're fired up about that. So we're going to talk about it. But before we do that, we're going to go to that lovely, awesome, fired up moment. And we know what moment that is. Let's go.
Now it's time to get caught up with our current money events.
This portion of the podcast is sponsored by the I Was Broke, Now I'm Not insurance page. On this page, you can find tons of helpful information relating to your financial journey. For more information about today's current events relating to insurance, be sure to visit the Next Steps insurance page at iwbnin.com.
Awesome. And so it's very important to have insurance. People aren't really excited about buying insurance, paying for insurance. As we've said, insurance is the one product that both the seller and the buyer hope never gets used. It's very interesting, but that's very important. For today's current money event section, moment, I want to talk about the cost of raising a child. Are you fired up about this?
I'm unsure.
All right, here's the current event. It is expensive to raise a child. And that's it for today's current money events section.
No.
Oh, isn't that awesome? No, it's expensive to raise a child. I thought that would be funny. It'd be funny if we finished the whole podcast episode there, because everybody would be like, in the world of the Mr. Obvious show, I'm not going to listen to this podcast ever again because they're stating the obvious.
Yeah.
Doors swing on hinges. Kids are expensive. Things like that. Sun rises in the east. Let's continue the conversation. Megan, Logan, your sweet baby boy. He's so awesome.
He is so
One day
sweet.
he'll be taller than you.
He will be.
He's
No
going to
doubt.
cost you a lot of money. Are you ready for the number?
No.
The average cost of Logan's $233,610. That's just to get him to age 18, for him to turn 18. Not be done with school. It's just when he turns 18. So that's for the first full 18 years of his life. Are you fired up about that? And that's sort of like $12,978.33 a year.
That's crazy.
So then, of course, you have things like college after that. That's not included. So in breaking news, kids are expensive. And that is done detailed research from the USDA.gov website. I've had 3
I was
children.
about to say, you have 3.
And that means something like $700,830 per year. And listen, y'all, I still have one with money. It turns out that you become a better money manager when you do this budgeting stuff and all the stuff that we're going to talk about in today's episode. So it's great. I do encourage you to check out a calculator because it does cost different amounts of money to raise children based upon where you live. And so there's a calculator we'll include from the USDA.gov website. Very interesting to look at those numbers to help you understand the different ways that they calculate the cost and helps you anticipate how to save money for that. And then I encourage all of our listeners to figure out how to lower that average.
You should
That'd
go
be awesome.
home today and ask them how they're going to help contribute to their
I'm serious right now.
$700,000.
You know, you look at that number, $12,978 a year. That's more than $1,000 a month. It's $1,083 a month. You better look. You costing me a lot of money. It's time for you to figure out how to add to this household.
Your little Megan will just smile
You know,
at you.
let's go there. Let's go there. When they sass you about washing the dishes,
You tell
you'd be
them
like, look, right now, you cost me $1,083 this month.
you're
You're
earning your
going to
keep.
wash some dishes. You know, they sass you about carrying out the trash, cleaning the room, right? Yeah.
I don't get that yet.
Okay.
I just get the crying.
Yeah,
I'm
you-
hungry, tired. I need a diaper change.
And then every now and then you get the occasional smile, and it makes it worth it all.
oh, he's a very smiley.
Yeah, he's a
baby.
joyful baby. I love it.
Yes,
If you follow
he is.
Megan on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, you'll see a smiling Logan.
He's so sweet.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep.
And so, and today I saw a picture of Barkley, their dog, snuggling up with Logan. They're best buds for life.
Yeah.
And so today we have a success story. It's kind of a long success story, and it's a two-parter.
Yep.
But I thought what we could do here is you could read the first part and we could talk about it. And then I was emailing for permission. We always ask for permission to share a success story. And it's been a couple years since he shared this first one, but it was kind of a memorable one that I wanted to share. And he gave us an update. And so we're going to share the update as part 2. So let's share part 1
All right. Part 1. This
from
is
Alexander.
Alexander. Yep. So thank you for visiting Riverbank, and thank you for listening to the Holy Spirit guide you. Your book was the first financial literature I ever invested in or applied to my life. In my family, I was raised with 2 limiting beliefs: rob Peter to pay Paul, and you can't get blood from a stone. With no financial education or mentors in my life, you can only imagine what those 2 beliefs brought. Yep, pain and a lot of unpaid bills, which I believe you call debt. I want to thank you for your book and experience. At a time in my life when I just had enough, your book became a very important tool, a very important toolbox. With a towering fines in multiple states, a suspended license, and no knowledge or discipline, all I kept doing was acquiring more debt and essentially running my life with blame and unjustified spending habits. Since reading and applying the budget tools in your book, I've been able to pay off 4 fines. I've been able to pay off fines in 4 states, pay for a DWI course, and acquire my license, which I haven't had in 12 plus years. To this day, I now have progressed in my journey, blowing up the occasional budget, but starting over with more resolve and clarity. I now have a vehicle I own outright, the start of an emergency fund, savings for old debts, and investing in old talents. Today, I skipped a few rungs in the ladder, which the Alsbrook now not ladder.
Mm-hmm.
And I have let my pride get in the way of more consistent and successful progress. However, I am looking forward to applying this program to my finances and continuing this journey to become a good steward of the resources I've been blessed with. Once again, Joe, I would like to thank you for your mentorship, knowledge, wisdom, and gifts. May God bless your journey.
It's an amazing success story.
It's a lot.
I mean, Alexander has multiple fines. He's been charged with DWI. All the stuff that can completely derail a person's life. Has grown up with no knowledge. And some things that are really interesting to me is he said this is the first piece of financial literature I ever invested in or applied to his life. And I think a lot of people would, if you ask them clearly, they have had no financial literature in their life.
Right.
And as a result, they don't even understand that's why they're not winning.
Yeah.
They just don't know. And so the first step to changing your life is knowing that there's a better way. And Alexander's done it. And in spite of a lot of setbacks and a lot of challenges, and as he says, self-inflicted stuff, he has made huge progress, paying off his fines in 4 states, getting his license back, being able to have a vehicle he owns outright, and he's even investing in his own talents, and that is awesome. Now, I checked in with him, and it had been a couple years since I checked in with him, and I wanted to read this part.
Okay.
And he said, "Thank you for checking in. It'd be an honor for you to share my testimony with others. In fact, today, so much has changed. I'm now married."
Aw,
Isn't that awesome?
congratulations.
Together, we have saved 1 month's expenses in a savings account for when my new wife and I merge households. My credit score is up over 100 points in the last year. Currently, we are looking forward to the next runs of the ladder of investing $100 a month, paying down the rest of our debt. This journey has been amazing, and I now find sitting down with my budget inspiring. In fact, I've taken a page from your book and decided to chart a graph in conjunction with the Mint app. So your tools help me to set a budget I can hang on my fridge and highlight as I make scheduled payments And the Mint app tracks all my spending habits and patterns. I then take all that data and graph it for my visual motivation and a larger picture of what's happening. For the first time in my life, I have multiple savings accounts. My current credit score is improving, debt is being paid, and my relationship with money and God is changing. I love being able to tithe the minute check deposits into the bank, and I love knowing that my heart is better aligned with money. I'd love to share more of what your book has done for my finances. As for now, I'll just give you this little clip of the journey. Alexander. How awesome is that?
That is awesome.
So it's just the truth, y'all. Money affects every area of your life. It affects your personal well-being, mental health. It affects relationships. It affects how you view yourself. It affects your ability to purchase things and make progress in your financial journey. And as a result of a catalytic moment happening in Alexander's life, a seed being planted, he's done the work. I can't take credit for any of this. All I can take credit for is the fact that I've been faithful to my call, teaching this principle, a simple principle about budgeting and planting a seed, and some crazy loon, their pastor, decided to put me on a stage and let me speak. I can't believe anybody lets me do that, but they do. And it caught like a little wildfire in Alexander's life, and it's changed it so much for the better. How awesome is that?
That is awesome.
That's why we do this, folks. So listen, if you say, this won't work for me because I have this problem, this problem, this problem, I've got so many setbacks, I can't ever really get ahead. Listen, you can have, what did they say? A setback can be a setup for a comeback. I love it.
That's good.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that, Alexander.
Yeah. All right. So just to remind you guys of our featured question for today. So it says, I keep trying to prepare a budget, but for some reason, I just can't get it right. So I just give up. Do you have some tips that can help me become good at budgeting?
Yes, I have some tips.
Some tips and tricks.
Tip number 1, have one. I should have that.
As a pre-tip.
I should have the snarky, mean Joe, the things I've always wanted to say when I'm frustrated that somebody hasn't done it.
But you're not mean.
You should, it's not my personality.
Yeah.
It's not my wiring, but you should have a budget, like for real. Like that's the first budgeting tip. Have one.
Have a budget.
Okay? That's off the notes and off the script. Maybe I should stay on the script.
You can't budget without a budget.
We have some famous people who get off the script and it starts going off the rails a little bit. But I would say you should have one. You should have a budget. And the first real tip that I would give you is you should find a rhythm. Have you ever seen a person who's they don't have rhythm?
Yes.
Like out on the dance floor?
It's
They
hilarious.
just don't have it. Do you remember the Seinfeld episode when Elaine dances? And her dancing is so horrible.
I mean, I remember it because I feel like they make it like a meme.
They make it a meme?
But like I never really watched Seinfeld.
It's really hilarious because she thinks she's killing it. And everyone else knows.
She's not.
She just doesn't have rhythm. And I just want to say this, podcast listener, it needs to be a rhythm that works for you, not a rhythm that works for mom and dad who always give you lots of advice. It's not a rhythm that your friend has. It's got to be one that works for you. If you don't have a rhythm that works for you, you won't be able to stick to it. And I will tell you that for me, monthly rhythm is best. Mm-hmm. For most people, monthly rhythm is best. Bills generally are monthly. Payments on debt is generally monthly. You get paid maybe once or multiple times in a month. Monthly is best for most people. And then the second tool that behind that or tip that I would share is look at the same month last year. Like one of the great benefits of budgeting for a long period of time is you get to go back and look at the history lesson. I save all of them on my computer and I can, it's August. When I prepared August budget, I looked at August 2018, August 2017, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12. And of course, the things from 2008, which we didn't call it 2008 back then. We called it 2008.
2008.
But when I looked at it, that's not relevant to my life right now. I've added 2 additional children. We've changed houses.
Yeah.
We got more businesses. We got stuff going on that's it's different. But I will tell you, the people that we gave birthday gifts, our nephews and nieces, they still have birthdays in those months. And certain bills still come due those months. And so it's relevant to look at the same month last year. It allows you to remember most of your expenses, and it eliminates surprise expenses. Of all the expenses we hate the most, I think most of us despise surprise ones the most. And I think we despise the surprise ones that we look at and say, oh my goodness, how did I forget that again? Right? I should have caught that, but for some reason it's surprising me again. Have you ever had that happen? Frustrates
It is
me
frustrating.
a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's happened to me once or 12 times. And so I would really encourage you to look at the same month last year. Very important. And then another budgeting tip that I would give you is to remember your why. Budgeting does not exactly equal fun for most people. Like, do you look forward to budgeting time? Like, is this when you do the happy dance?
No.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. We're definitely gonna have an episode where Jordan joins us. Or I'm gonna interview you guys as a couple. Like, couples and money. It's gonna
Couples
be
and
awesome. The Jordan and Megan edition. And we'll have Logan involved too. We'll ask him too. It'd be great. And Barkley. It'd be the whole family.
Whole fam.
But listen, like, do you like budgeting? When you think about budgeting, like, does the word fun come to mind?
No, I mean, I think for me, it's this point exactly. The reason that you like it is because of what it allows you to do. So it allows you to go on vacation. It allows us to be able to buy X, Y, and Z. It allows us to be able to fund this dream. It allows us to be able to do these things that if we weren't being wise with our money, we wouldn't be able to do.
Yeah,
So,
it's important, right? It's important, even though it may not be fun.
right.
But when you remember your why and you realize this is the tool that helps you get to the why, you will stay energized. I always like to liken this to a vehicle. Like, do you know exactly the type of engine in your car?
No.
Do you know how many liters it is?
No.
Do you know if it's a 4-cylinder, 6-cylinder, 8-cylinder?
6.
Yeah, but it sounds like you're guessing a little bit,
I am.
right? and most people do not know how many liters their car is. Now, I know I have car guys and girls on the call who just love their cars and they're fanatics. You're the minority. Most people, they don't care about the engine. They don't want to hear anything about the engine. They just want to turn a key and have it run and be able to get to their destination. They want to get to the destination. That's why they have the car. And I think the same thing needs to happen with the budget. You need to get it to where it works for you, and you may not know all of the details about everything, but that budget is the thing that helps you get to the why. Very important. And so I really encourage you, it leads in my next point, is look at the same month last year, remember your why, and the next one is prioritize rung number 2 on the I Was Broke, Now I'm Not ladder. And if you don't have that ladder, pick up a copy of our book, I Was Broke, Now I'm Not, Amazon or through our store. But we talk about this ladder all the time because it's really important. Rung number 2 is where you save 1 month's worth of expenses. And when you've got 1 month's worth of expenses, budgeting becomes so much simpler. You can automate all of your bill payment. All of it. Do you automate a lot of your bill payment?
The majority of it, yeah.
Majority of it? Mm-hmm. And you can also automate your giving, your saving, your investing. Like, we have a simple IRA. That's the 401k equivalent for small businesses. And you're a participant in the simple IRA. Mm-hmm. And it is automatically contributed, right? Mm-hmm. When you contribute to that, it's automatic. Before your check ever comes home, it's automatically put over there. Most people have that. Before you get a paycheck home, the government automatically takes the taxes out. That happens automatically. And when things happen automatically, think about this. For those of you who've automated this, you're like, yep, that's a good tip. Those of you who haven't, you don't even understand how important this is. The number one reason why people don't automate their bill payments, they don't automate their giving, they don't automate their saving or investing. Why? Do you have an idea why, Megan?
Because they don't want to break up with the money.
Nope. Not it.
Because it takes time.
Nope.
Because they just don't do it.
Nope. Because they don't have savings.
That too.
Think about it. If you don't have savings, you freak out about allowing things to automatically happen to your bank account.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like, oh my God, why would I set up automatic bill payment for my power bill? Did you like that voice? That was a weird voice. I don't know what just happened. Voice. But what happened, you won't do it because you're like, I might not have money there that day.
Yeah, overdraft.
If you're running always against the rails, no money, you won't automate anything. But if you have a month's worth of money saved, you don't care when they pull out that money. Why does it matter if it goes on the 1st or the 17th? I already have a month's worth of money there. And when you do that, I'm telling you, it will liberate you. Because all your bills, I'm waving my hands around like somebody's going to see it. I mean, you can see it on YouTube. But I'm really demonstratively behind this because when you build up that savings, all of a sudden your giving can be automatic. You can tithe to your church. You can give to Compassion International. You can give to the food pantry. You can give to, the American Society for Prevention for Cruelty to Animals, the ASPCA, or something like that. Where Sarah McLachlan sings that song, and poor Wolfie's in bad shape.
Yeah.
But anyhow, you can do that automatically because you have savings. And that is so huge important because it builds margin in your life. And so I can tell you right now, I had one holdout that I always still wrote a check for. I had one holdout, and that was my giving to my church. I still wrote a check. And then I broke up with that feeling about, 18 months ago, 24 months ago, and it's all automated. And so I was gone to Minnesota fishing for a week. I did not win the big fish contest again. But anyhow, I was gone through the turn of the month. Yet we had prepared a budget for the next month, and all the bills all the money went out. Why? Because we have a month's worth of money saved up. Mm-hmm. Very, very, very important. And so that is one of the greatest budgeting tips that I can give you is to get that month's worth of money saved up so that then you can automate your budget. And automation is a form of budgeting. Did you know that?
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, it's automatic. It's just going to happen. And the more you can have fixed cost in your budget, there's less of your income that's coming in that you have to think about. And so I automatically have money going to different retirement accounts, to different investments that I'm running towards, all that stuff. All the different things that are going out automatically, it's just automatic. I know that part of the budget, it's just fixed. And it really is great confidence because not only have I systematized paying power bills, which are very exciting. I mean, I do want the light switch to work.
It's true.
Particularly in the months of Inferno, when it's so hot that I really want my AC to work. But I really love it when that money is going towards a goal that I have of investing, and it's systematized, it's automated. Very important. So, you have anything to say about that? And automation and all that?
No, I think you hit it all. I think that's great.
Did I sound more passionate or enthusiastic about that than maybe the other tips?
Yes.
Okay. So the next one is side income. Side income. Mark Cuban, the owner of the Dallas Mavericks basketball team, and now he's more famous, I think, to the general masses because he's on Shark Tank. And he also speaks out politically some. But do you know how he made all his money? Do you know how he became a billionaire?
I'm going to guess it's side income.
No. He started, that was good. He started a company that allowed you to listen to the radio online.
Huh.
And it was revolutionary.
I did not know that.
It's called broadcast.com. He graduated from Indiana University School of Business, which I come from the state of Indiana, but I came from the better school called Purdue University. And he sold it to Yahoo back in the day. And he became a billionaire that day. And then he bought the Dallas Mavericks. He's a wonderful business leader. And he wrote in his book, he wrote a simple 3-word statement. He said, sales cure all. If a business sells more, it cures a lot of problems.
Right.
I want to kind of flip it and kind of modify that statement a little bit that says more income can do the same for you. Now, listen, I don't want to fall into that trap of leading you to believe what a lot of people mistakenly believe is I just need to make more money to win with money.
Yeah, more is better.
For most people, more money will not help them with money because of their poor financial behavior will just be amplified.
Right.
But if you're managing money with a budget and you remember your why and you're prioritizing climbing up the ladder and you're taking all these tips into account, more income can absolutely cure a lot of things and help you move faster to your dreams. And so think about side income. What are some ways you can produce some extra income to help that budget become a more fun thing? Because when it's just your regular income, it kind of gets boring. But man, when you got an extra $300 a month coming in, woo! Get fired up. We can think about that. Maybe go to Charleston for the weekend. Get fired up. But anyhow, the helpful tool is we want to announce that we are launching the budget challenge again.
Yes.
And so tell everybody about that.
Yep. So we're launching the 40-day budget challenge. And so with this challenge, it gives you an email with a little video in it from Joe every day. It has a helpful tip, tells you exactly what to do to help you with your budget, help you win with your money. And so it's very practical. It's very simple. They're short videos. They're not very long. And so it's not very time consuming, but it really can transform your finances. And it's been cool to see people that have gone through it before of what they say at the beginning and then what they say at the end of the 40 days and how it's helped them and completely change their finances. So,
Yeah, and we started by starting 10 days before the end of the month. That way you can get your budget ready to go. We give you all the tips to make sure you have a really good budget to start with, and then we help you all the way through that following month. And you have special access to our team. You can send your budget in. We'll take a look at it, give you feedback. And it costs a few dollars. It's not a lot of money, but we would encourage you to be a part of it. It's our way to be able to help you become really good and systematic at budgeting and accomplish this great skill set. I have another Sanglism as our key quote for the day, and that is that planned money accomplishes far more than unplanned money. And so I want you to be able to plan your money. And so I really encourage you, if you still struggle with this budget challenge thing, be a part of the budget challenge. Take a look at it. Consider being a part of it at iwbnin.com/budget challenge. So tell everybody what we're going to talk about in the next episode.
Yep. Our next episode, I can't believe it. It's already the end of the month, which is crazy.
Crazy.
So we're going to be doing your top money questions. So make sure you send those in. If you have a question or you just need help, more help on a specific topic, you send that in. You can send it in at our email. So info@iwbnin.com. You can send it to us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever works best for you. So yeah, those have been a lot of fun. So make sure you send those in and your question could be featured. If you like today's episode, please help us get this podcast to others who could benefit. You could do this by quickly rating our podcast and leaving a review. And these ratings and reviews will help us make our podcast better for other listeners. And if you've implemented one of our tips and you have a success story, make sure you share that with us. We'd love to feature your success story on the podcast. So you can email those at info@iwbnin.com.
I'll close this episode with a word of encouragement. It was July 2003 when I decided to put together my first ever budget. I share that story in my book, I Was Broke, Now I'm Not. And as we record this podcast, we have just completed our 194th consecutive month of preparing a budget every month before the month begins and doing our very dead level best to follow it. Lots of challenges along the ways, but that's 16 years and 2 months. Changed my life. And I know it can do the same for you. So go get that budget rolling, and hopefully you'll be able to join us in the budget challenge. And we'll see you next Monday at the next episode of the Monday Money Tip, answering your top money questions. Have a great week, everybody.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode of the Monday Money Tip Podcast, presented by I Was Broke, Now I'm Not. If you enjoyed today's episode, please leave a review and subscribe. And for more great content and to stay up to date, visit iwbnin.com. We'll catch you next time.